taken by a nursery rhyme. I wanna make a ray of sunshine and never leave home. No amount of coffee, no amount of crying, no amount of whiskey, no amount of wine. No, 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 nothing else will do.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are subscribed, you know I just uploaded my BoxyCharm video for December, so you should go check that out. This video got requested yesterday, and I actually have notes right here in front of me of what the questions were that they asked. A lot of you don't know, but I had scoliosis correction surgery in 2013. So I was just going to give a video of like my pros, my cons, how my recovery was, how I found out I had scoliosis to begin with, my doctor's appointments, and was I nervous. When I found out I had scoliosis, my little sister just had her surgery, and I was actually visiting her. She had just got moved back into the room, and I was like bent over the bed, kissing my sister, waiting for her to wake up, and the doctor came in, and he was like, "Oh man, you have scoliosis," and I was like, "No, you're losing your mind, doctor." And he got to feeling my back, and my curve was actually really bad. I don't remember the exact numbers of my curve, but I was like a question mark. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, my body was like a question mark. A couple weeks later, I come in for x-rays, and it turns out that my spine is actually crushing one of my lungs, and if I didn't get the surgery, that I was going to have to be in an oxygen tank and a wheelchair by the time I was 21. So that wasn't fun, and that terrified me, and I was terrified because I did not want to get the surgery. I did not want to have metal on my back. I did not want a scar on my back. I did not want any of that. So I was a nervous wreck. Getting the surgery, I was terrified. I was so scared. When they wheel you in, they put you on all of this medicine, the amnesia and all that. So that kind of made it a little bit more easier for me, but it was terrifying. I guess the pros of my surgery would be that I'm not in a wheelchair or an oxygen tank, and my body is more, my posture is more straight. I can no longer slouch, would be a con, I guess, because I don't know, I like to like, I don't know, I can't even like demonstrate slouching. The cons would be when it is cold outside. I don't know if this is just my experience because it doesn't happen to my sister. When it's cold outside and I go outside, my back gets cold first, and I tend to have muscle spasms, and they're super painful. At my job, I walk around on my feet all the time, and I have to wear these certain shoes because they won't let me wear tennis shoes because I'm a waitress. And my back will ache so bad at the end of the day, especially if I work a long shift. My back will physically be in so much pain that I have to put cream and all kinds of stuff on it. The recovery process for my scoliosis took 6 months. It was painful. After my surgery, I could not use the restroom on my own. I could not walk on my own. I could not do anything on my own right after my surgery. They kept me in the hospital an extra day because I couldn't use the restroom. In eating, I had no appetite. I remember I could only eat bacon and crackers. It's the only thing I could hold down. I remember waking up in the middle of the night because my grandma stayed in the room with me. Waking up in the middle of the night, and I had to throw up. And I remember just with every ounce of me just picking myself up and making myself throw up, not on myself because my grandma was asleep. I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm just trying to get everywhere. The recovery process took 6 months. After coming home, I had to bandage my back because I do have a scar from the top of my back all the way to the lower of my back. The recovery process was long, hard, painful, because as soon as they took the epidural out of my back, it was very painful for me. I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, it just hurt bad. Getting used to the hardware was the hardest because I got so used to being crooked, and then just automatically being straight was really painful, and I think a big shock for my body. Like I said, the recovery process at home, I had to change, my dad and Preston had to change the bandages on my back because I had to keep them covered for, I think it was like 6 weeks, I could be wrong, but I think it was like 6 weeks I had to keep that wound covered for it to heal. I couldn't take a shower, which was terrible, for like a week, and I had to take sponge baths, and that was a disaster. But all in all, I think it's so much better because my back is straight. I mean, it's still kind of painful for me because my curvature was so bad, and sometimes I do hurt really bad, and some days it hurts worse than others. But overall, I think it was definitely worth it because my back is now straight, and I'm not in a wheelchair, and I'm not in an oxygen mask, and I don't have to have help breathing or doing everyday activities, which I was really scared when the doctor told me that by the age of 21 I would be in a wheelchair and an oxygen mask. So that was pretty terrifying. The doctor appointments after that were really just a run through. Like, you just go in, you get your x-ray, he makes sure that everything's okay. He checks on your hardware to make sure none of the screws come loose, because I promise you, I've been through 2 car wrecks and my screws and my rods are still perfectly in place. They might hurt after the car wrecks, but they are still in place, and my back is just as healthy as ever, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. But I was super nervous. I remember being like so nervous, and like the day of, I wanted to back out really bad. But altogether, I definitely think it's worth it. If you have any questions about scoliosis, you can always DM me on Instagram, and I will help you out with any of your questions. You can direct message me on Facebook. You can direct message me and ask me questions. You can comment on my post. You can comment down below, because I know a bunch of people do have scoliosis, and a bunch of people have come to me and asked me questions. It's just really difficult to talk about because it was a very long healing process, and I do think that to a certain extent, like, you should definitely try the brace. I know that they try to start most people out like on a brace, but with my severe curvature, I had to go straight to surgery. My little sister actually started out on a brace, and she ended up having to get the surgery. It is a very crazy process. Like, I do recommend getting your back checked out at a young age. That way you don't have to get it done at such a late age, because it could be something as severe as you having to get in a wheelchair, or you having to get an oxygen mask, or you having to have help walking or eating or doing everyday things that you like to do. So I definitely recommend getting it checked out. Even if you don't think you have it, you should definitely get checked to see if you do, because some people just might have a slight curve, and you might want to get it checked out before it turns into something so serious. My little sister's wasn't as serious as mine, but hers was still very serious. Hers wasn't affecting her. She had 2 curves, so it kind of evened herself out. Mine was just one big curve, so I was just permanently like a question mark, and whereas my little sister's kind of evened hers out, and it was still very painful, and the procedure was just as hard on her as it was on me. But like I said, if you have any questions, just comment down below. Direct message me on Instagram. Direct message me on Facebook. Do whatever you got to do. I will gladly answer any questions that you have about scoliosis, because scoliosis is something we should be more aware about.